Hello and welcome to Remainders, where we talk about all the movies that remain. My name is Patrick, and today, very special 100th episode of Remainders, where we will be talking about Boogie Nights. We'll get to that in a moment. Darren, did you think we're going to make it to 100 episodes of this?
I always knew we would, because
nice.
You know what?
I like that positivity right there, right off the bat. So
this is the best thing that we do. This is the best creative thing that I do, and I knew we would make it because I knew we'd have fun, and that is what it's been. All 100 episodes have been fun. All I can say is that I guess I didn't know what the 100th episode would be, but I gotta say this is really fitting, because after watching it last night for about the 8 billionth time, there is no doubt Boogie Nights is one of the greatest films, one of the most rewatchable films of all time. There's so much to this film. We'll talk about it, but on this 100th episode, I'm really grateful that we made it. This is like 5 years of our lives. We've been doing this podcast every 2 weeks for the most part, pretty consistently, and to get, you're right, it's a big deal for me. So I'm glad that we're doing this one today on Boogie Nights, because there is a lot to uncover since we fell in love with this movie back in 1997. Weird to think it's that old, but it's because it just feels so current, even though it's set in the 70s. We're watching it in 2026. It just stands the test of time, this film.
Well, I'm more than excited to hear all that. That's awesome. But we'll get into it. But just taking a second to acknowledge that we made it this far. You saying that we've been doing this for 5 years is kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
We started this as a project, like a COVID project, basically, shortly after you left Chicago, and it was just a way for us to keep connected and remain with our love of movies over the years. And so, I'm super happy we've made it this far.
Well, it's cool. It's like kind of full circle, because we actually had like a little intro, like music intro, and then kind of got away from that. And the podcast started out, for anyone who's been here the whole time, we're going to do books. We're also going to do a few other things, but then we decided to kind of veer right into movies, the thing that like our sweet spot. Kind of like Dirk Diggler, there's one thing that he's really good at, and the one thing that we're really good at on this podcast is talking about the movies. So you got to go with what you know, got to go with what you're good at. And this is crazy, because at the same time, like as a COVID project, we had the time, and now, I don't know about you, but I always feel like I don't have all the time in the world to stop and like give myself a couple hours to record it, then to edit it, and then to put it up and everything. Yet I always find myself so drawn to do it, because it's it's a labor of love. Like, it's just so much fun. And then when people comment and say that they like the movies or give us some insight into like what they like about them, this makes it so full circle,
Yeah. Well, just one of the things I'm most proud of is everything that we've done, every conversation we've had here is legit how it would sound if we were not even recording. And it's how our conversations have sounded since the Suncoast days back in the early 2000s. So that's kind of one of the things I'm most proud of, essentially, is that like everything we've been doing here is already what we were doing naturally, because we enjoyed it so much. And so that's why, it takes a little bit of time for sure. But we'd be talking like this anyway. So that's the
do you think we're smarter after 5 years? Do you think we're smarter about the movies?
Well, smart is a subjective term. So I definitely, like I said, I've known your style for years and your taste. And so it's like just talking about the movies has always been fantastic. But then learning it through like the public forum, I definitely have refined my taste in terms of a little bit more elemental, I almost feel. Like I respond to more universal themes than I did, I feel like, in my youth and my Suncoast days. I may have gone through a little bit, as most of us do, a little bit of a film snob phase. But fortunately, I recovered quickly after those years.
Well, it's funny, because you are, I think, brighter in just, all of the things that you consume over the years, right? Like books and stuff like that. I think you ultimately become at least a lot more researched, let's say, and you've taken in a lot more things, which I think adds a lot more to the conversation. Like, I remember when we talked about like There Will Be Blood, and the things you were talking about there, and the kind of themes in that film that I probably wouldn't have caught up on, but like you were able to bring those up. And then, also movies like, I think if we're going to talk about favorite episodes, and we can talk about this later too, but I love talking about and then when we did the episode, I was like, it took me forever to watch it, and then I was so mad at myself that it took me forever. But you were such a fan of it. Was Mad Max Fury Road? Like that was one of my favorite episodes because I really loved the film, and yeah, like I knew you loved it so much, and I thought our conversation in that episode specifically was like really, really good.
Oh, I mean, that's the best part of it is us celebrating the things we love, whether or not they're well known or a little bit lesser well known. And this kind of thing, we've kind of aimed a little bit more towards movies that needed recommendations and then saved the bigger ones for like more milestone projects, like 100th. Like everybody knows Boogie Nights is great. Everybody knows it. So you don't necessarily need like a recommendation, but like generally we kind of look for the movies that need a little bit of recommendation. Because again, that was the best part of working in a video store is like you would talk to people about movies and then you turn them on to movies that they may not have seen yet. And so like that was like one of the biggest joys of working in a video store for sure. And anybody who's ever done that like knows that's like one of the best parts. Yeah,
totally. And I mean, there's such a nostalgia now for VHS and all of those different things and people finding different movies that might be out of print or, you know, what have you. And then of course, a lot in the news right now about a lot of the digital streamers or even ones that like you'd buy the DVD and then they'd have like the digital code that you could download the movie and it was yours. Like they're gone now. They vanished. And people are really, really upset about that. But it goes back to what you said and kind of where we started when we were collecting physical media and the feeling of getting My Own Private Idaho and that disc and then pull it out and it just how wonderful the packaging was. It was a work of art itself, really, you know? And so like we were of that time to kind of experience movies that we loved. And then they were looked at as like a little bit more special because they had the time to put together a package, you know? And I think now it's kind of coming back like very full circle to all of that. And people are realizing these subscription models I just looked, you know, for the song that I want to pick for today. And I looked and there's a bunch of songs grayed out. Like I've Been Hurt, Bill Deal, and the rondels that I put for our podcast. Like when we watch Trees Lounge and I love that song in there, grayed out. I can't listen to it on Spotify anymore. Connie Francis died and all her entire, like everything I loved about her songs, they're all different versions now. They're like live versions, different things like that. Yeah. But like they just swap out the version that you liked, you know, and it's crazy to me that they can just do that. It's kind of like your internet. If you don't have anything else around that's a provider, just keep on jacking it up. So I think people are fed up with subscription services, to be honest with you, because you're not getting exactly what you thought you were going to get.
Well, you know what you're getting on Remainders podcast, and it's a couple of dudes talking about movies from Suncoast.
And it's free to you until we get popular enough to make it not free to you.
Yeah, the paywall will be long forthcoming. So yeah, enjoy it. We'll be here for a long time. So.
That's right.
Okay, well maybe we can reminisce a little bit more on 100, and maybe talk about some of our favorite episodes and. I was also thinking of maybe some of the best movies you've seen from my recommendation and vice versa, and maybe some of the worst movies you've seen via my recommendation and vice versa. So we don't disagree with each other too much, but we definitely have our preferences. So sometimes, so maybe we could talk a little bit more.
I think the thing is like even if we don't like it, we tend to like respect the other person's decision. And
well, for sure,
I'll definitely shit on you. But
that's the beautiful thing. I trust your opinion. If you don't dig a movie, you're not gonna fake it for sure. So
right, I think our relationship has gotten to the point where I can shit on you about what you like, and like you know that it's like yet with like a lot of respect. You know,
I would expect nothing less. My good sir. So
yeah.
Right, but let's we'll get to that a little bit later. But let's talk about.
So can I do something really quick that I've been wanting to do? I was trying to find like the right spot to do it. But I wanted to tell you, I'm glad we're doing this. And at the end of the episode, I don't want to say it and forget it. But I wanted to say at the end of the episode, so I'm going to say it now. Is
sure.
Hasta mañana.
I mean, I knew that was going to come. I mean, it was in my head multiple times in the last episode, but I just didn't let it out. So
one of my favorite parts of this movie, 1000%.
I actually have vivid memories of you saying that back in Suncoast days. So I knew that was the line that you were always cherished.
Okay, mamita. Hasta mañana. Oh my God, man. Louis Guzman.
mean, we were hyping Louise up at the end of last episode of this two-parter for PTAs. We covered Magnolia in our last episode, and good old Louise Guzman. Yeah, he was kind of a revelation when we saw him first in this movie. But yeah, maybe that's my first question. When did you see this movie first? Did you watch it in theaters?
Interesting enough, I did not see it in theaters. I don't think at the time in 97 I would have been like that smart to know much about movies as far as like how good they were. I remember in 98 I bought my Vertigo poster. That's like my prized possession. That was
hell yeah.
The re-release after they did the restoration. So I had like watched in high school Vertigo, and that's what got me into movies as like sort of like more than just entertainment. I've talked about that a lot, but this is kind of on that threshold of like I wasn't going to movies to see them like quite frequently, like I wouldn't have seen them. For all intents and purposes, I would have thought that Boogie Nights was more of an independent film back then. I did, however, like we would go to a lot of venues and stuff like that I was just starting out being in bands back in 97, 98. And I remember there being posters for a little movie called Boogie Nights all over. And I believe it was the Riviera Theater. And I was like, what is Boogie Nights? It had the star,
Yeah.
So I remember the advertising for it more than I remember going to see the film. So it was advertised, but it's interesting, and maybe we can talk about it more. I don't exactly know much about like the release, how it did. Did you see it in theaters?
I did not. So this did come out. Actually, I just realized. I knew it was late '97. It came out on Halloween of 1997, October 31st, 1997. I would have been. That was me in 7th grade at the time. So I don't think I would have even been able to get into the movie if I was going to go see it, which it wasn't on my radar. So it's not like I was trying to go see it or anything. So
right. It's kind of the same deal with me, but I was a little bit older than you, but at the same time, like, whoa, like, do you see this film back then? It just didn't seem to compute with me.
So I forget, you're 4. So we just shared our birthdays.
Yeah, we've
just last week. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Another crazy thing about this podcast is we both have the exact same birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday to you as well.
Good, Leos. I just turned 42. I am forgetting. Are you 4 years older than me?
I'm 46. I just turned 46.
Yeah, so you're 4 years old. So you would have been like in mid high school. You were in like a sophomore.
Yeah, I was 18 in 98, and I always know because it's 80. So every year. That's how old I
am. So yeah, you could have finagled your way in, didn't have to sneak your way in if you wanted to go see it. But yeah, I did not see this in the theater. I don't remember which year, but I do remember watching this on a New Year's Eve in my room because it was just on TV. Just randomly, and that was like the first time I had ever seen this movie. I didn't even see all of it, but I'm guessing this was maybe like 99, maybe 98, and just seeing it on TV, and that was just my first memories of it. And then really, really coming into it after working at Suncoast and watching it on DVD after that.
Well, yeah. And like back then, that's what I'm about to say. I think it's like the word of mouth that spread like wildfire. So I vividly remember seeing this after I think like a couple friends were like, oh my God, this is a great film. And then started being like, oh, it's about this like pornography, like, basically like already you got young boys to like be excited about the subject matter.
Yeah.
And then, the Plain White T's made their first CD, Come On Over, and on the bonus tracks, they're doing like the whole like Michael Mann part where they're like, have you heard the tracks? Our stuff is that good. Like they're like doing that as like the bonus track because everybody all of us musicians love that they were so bad. Like, you got the touch, you got the power. Yeah. It's like, well, we all loved that so much that was part of the film that it exploded with all of us. Yeah. And it became part of our lives, basically.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I feel like I did pick up that this was a comedy at a pretty young age, like in terms of watching it, like realizing that, like because I remember watching this with like friends just randomly. Like, this would be like a hangout movie that we would put on like after like work or something.
It's kind of everything.
Yeah. And it's
because if you said it was like a drama, you'd be like, okay. But if you said it was a comedy, you'd be like, yeah. like it fits all of those, checks all those boxes.
Yeah, exactly. So just me really responding to it at a young age, and yeah, I wasn't in a band at the time, but yeah, those scenes I can definitely see them resonating with you guys at the time. But yeah, I mean, so this movie didn't make a ton of money. It made like $15 million in the box office, but it was nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards, including Burt Reynolds, which was. That was one of the first times I remember hearing about it, and like people kind of mocking it, almost being like, "What is Burt Reynolds doing being nominated for a Best Actor?" Like he was definitely seen as like the goofy '70s like Hooper, and just not a serious actor. And so his nomination, I still remember being like some of the first things I'd ever heard about this movie. Just be like,
I don't know when we want to talk about Burt Reynolds. I mean, maybe it's now, but he is one of my absolutely favorite parts of this film. I am so enthralled with his performance in this. The ability to like when he finally like gets pissed, because he is just like, he's in control and he is very, very cool. He's just fucking cool the whole time. And he's able to talk to everybody, and he is like controlling things, but he's like, that's great. That's a great name. You know, he's like, I had some thoughts about it. Yeah. He's like listening to them. He's letting them have their own opinions. He's saying, yeah, that's a great idea. It's actually working very collaboratively until later, of course. But that's what makes it so incredible when you see that scene where you finally get like the Burt Reynolds, you kind of like, you've always heard of Burt Reynolds just in general as like this hothead. And when he's like, you've been up for 2 days, and regardless if you have, you look like you've been up for 2 days, and I'm not going to shoot you like that. You know, that scene, and when he goes to take his fucking headband off, it's like, it's insane. He's so good. Everything about Burt, and the scene with the Colonel, I mean, I can go on and on. The scene with the Colonel, and he's just like, he's got his head down and he's kind of pulling the phone away and he can't believe it.
That's the stuff where I think he's the best in this movie. There's those kind of more quiet moments.
Yeah.
It's not like, that's just where I remember seeing that as a kid. I was like, because I hadn't seen like a ton of his older stuff, but I was like seeing that. I'm like, this is one of the better actors I've seen.
It's a masterful performance. And I'm not sure too, because, you know, when you look around him, it is another ensemble cast. So we just talked about Magnolia, and it does what Magnolia does, and it just like intersects these characters. And it does such a great job of doing it at the beginning with the nightclub scene, of showing all of these characters, kind of like almost all of them are in the club, and they kind of like moves. It doesn't have just one cut, but it's close to like a couple cuts, you know, where the camera moves in and out of like what they're up to at that time when we get to meet them and who they are pretty quickly in this nightclub.
Which is such a beautiful bookend, because that's how the movie ends. With them going through Jack's house,
but also another moment that's so and for Jack and for Dirk, or Eddie Adams for Torrance. I love when you first meet them in their worlds. When you get into Jack's house and it does like the 360 around, so you can kind of see his room and his, you know, when he goes in there and he's like turns on like some songs and everybody's kind of going to bed that night or whatever. But then it's great with Dirk when it's like it's got the song that's like kind of like subdued or whatever, and it goes around, and all of a sudden you start seeing the posters, and then the music kind of kicks up. Both of those characters, you get to see who they are immediately by just seeing them in their homes and in their place that they live, you know, and it's just us and them pretty much in that room. And as an audience member, you're like, oh, I get it. I get who this guy is.
Yeah, he wants to be the patriarch of the family. And so that kind of brings it to like what, like and I mentioned it briefly last episode. It's like what this movie is about. Like if it's about one thing, it's about family. Specifically manufacturing a family, and it's all these people who are replacing parts that they may be missing in their lives with this insular family, this manufactured family. Genius. That they're just finding whatever they're missing in their lives within this porn industry family.
And it's seemingly like
everything can be tied back to basically that one line. So. And
that's like such an interesting thing that this movie does, is that like as an audience member, you're in love with that. Like you are like,
because everybody has something they're missing in them.
Yes.
And so it's like, you can totally understand. It's like, oh, I feel a little bit of a void here. Wouldn't it be nice to have somebody or something fill that?
And it is like, you want to be a part of it as an audience member. You're like, this backyard party looks great. It looks like they have like they're and of course the beautiful juxtaposition that Eddie Adams from Torrance becomes Dirk Diggler because of the fact that his family's broken. He's got this father who basically can't go near his wife because his wife is just controlling and shunning him tells her not to kiss him until he shaves. And so he's just ostracized in his own home and is demasculated, I guess you could say.
That shot where you see him just staring when they're fighting. It's a quiet shot. It just shows him just staring into the middle distance, just being like, what?
I don't know if I really see that happen very often either. You're like so in the scene and you're so in it with those two and they're killing it in that scene. And then all of a sudden, like it cuts to the dad and you're in the room now with the dad and what he would be like. I don't know if I've seen that ever. Like, so smart to do that because it's so poignant about what the father's like position is. He's not going to say anything. He's not going to cause any drama because it's already very, very tense with him and his wife. But yeah, like he found a father figure who's going to support him. And he's like, obviously got this gift. Cheryl Ann tells him, don't make me pounce you, Cheryl Ann. It's great. Everything about,
and she's a little piece of trash.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, go ahead and fuck that little Cheryl Ann. Go ahead, fuck her. It's like, and no, you don't touch me. You don't get to know me. No. Yeah. And he's such a child. It's so perfect,
That's okay. So that's something I really kind of, I've realized as I get older. That's a beautiful, another part of this podcast is we get to revisit all these movies that I've seen years ago and they look so different to me now.
Do they?
Like 20 years on. I can just like see different parts because I'm like 20 years older than seeing them like, back in the day. But just understanding how childlike Dirk is in this entire, just where he's at. He's just such an innocent character that is thrust into, like a world of sex and drugs and whatever. But like his interests, just in terms of like, he likes cars, he likes karate, he likes music and his guitar. It's like he's such an innocent portrayal of the character. I mean, he's a little stupid, a little naive for sure, but like there's nothing insidious about Dirk at all. And just like really,
naivete or whatever about him is what makes him so childlike, right?
Exactly.
Like a little like dumb or whatever. And that's like, and it's also endearing, for us as the audience, because it's like makes us like him even more, it makes him feel like he's not out to get anybody. He's just living this cool life that he loves. And
that's just why he fits so perfectly into Jack's patriarchy of creating a family that can create porn together. So it's there's a little exploitation there, but at the same time there is genuine love, but like that's just why he's so susceptible to it for sure. So
and it's so hard to make a character like Jack Horner. Great name, by the way. Talk about great names.
Those are great names.
Those are great names. Yeah. He's so not a creep. Like this movie could have been, the guy who is like, I'm going to watch these two kids fuck on my couch in my house. He could have easily been a total fucking creep, but he's not. He's just literally a guy who wants to make, and you believe him when he talks about his like vision to make films. So many good things happening in this film on so many levels that matter so much, because if he was such a creep, you would not care about him. You would not care about him keeping this family together. It would add like the worst type of element to this and you wouldn't like the film. So, yeah.
I mean, Jack definitely works for a creep in the Colonel.
But I don't think he knows that.
No, not at all. I'm just saying, but that's what I'm just saying. That it is layered like that. The money comes from where the money comes from. So,
and
that's what makes it so much more layered for sure. So,
of course, and people could definitely be thinking like, well, okay, Darren, but like he lets like people do drugs in his house and all these things. Sure, but it's the 70s. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so that gets into like basically what this movie is. It's like split between the 70s and the 80s. And the 70s portrayal is so beautiful. Everything's so positive. But yeah, that is the reality of the 70s. Like the 70s, they were wild as fuck. And that was just how everybody was.
Yeah. But what's interesting about this film is that we talked about Little Bill a little bit and that character. By the way, everybody who's listening and are like, wait, we haven't seen the movie yet. It's like, I don't think we need to explain the plot of this film because like, I'm pretty sure anybody listening to this has seen the film. But Little Bill, played by the great William H. Macy, is kind of where it turns, because it's building up. There's not really anything wrong in this film, as like you're going through and you're seeing things happen. But the minute, like, the only thing you could really say kind of sucks is for Little Bill's character, right? Like everybody else kind of just like is going through it and kind of having a great time, and Dirk's on the rise, and everybody else is like, nobody's really jealous of him or anything. They're all like happy for him, and they're all in it together. But Little Bill keeps on like having to walk in on his wife fucking another man like 3 times, I think it happens, before he finally does something about it, which is interesting because it's on New Year's Eve when it turns to 1980, and that changes everything. That is
it's very clear. Yeah, it's very clear. PTA said, yeah, everything went downhill in the 80s. Whether or not that is kind of still viewed now, but like that was certainly the viewpoint of. Because the 80s you did grapple with a lot of stuff, the HIV epidemic. Certain aspects of porn and how it wasn't like, as they go into it, like film to videotape. It was kind of the downfall in a couple ways for porn in general, but then also just the vibe and the positivity of the culture. So,
yeah.
So Little Bill is, as we mentioned, like who's the more tragic character, Quiz Kid Donnie Smith, or Little Bill? It's got to be. Little Bill has the more tragic ending. So,
well, like I said last time too, when we were talking Magnolia, I do feel it's a tragic ending, but I also feel like Quiz Kid Johnny Smith turns it around.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. So so I guess Little Bill never had a chance because he killed himself.
And that's, watching it this time, it's so crazy, like how much you can, because his scenes at the beginning are completely played for laughs. Like he walks in his wife, like my goddamn wife has an ass in her cock in the driveway. So it's all played for laughs until it's not. Right. And then you just are grappled with that scene when he ends both of them. And it's like, it forces you as the viewer. It's like nothing's really changed, and you were like laughing at him before. And now this is just how he reacts. So it's just so effective, like seeing like a man like who just wants dignity and then just gives up on it.
Well, I also love that the intersection of the characters happen once more too, when there's the scene, because Little Bill kind of starts the downward spiral, and there's so much more to talk about, of course, but like, when they meet up again and it kindly comes to a head is when you got Roller Girl, and she's with the kid that you see earlier that's making fun of her for like giving blowjobs like in the classroom, and they pick him up on the street, and they're gonna do this like video series where Roller Girl just like picks somebody up off the street. And then you've got Dirk like literally like going back to what he used to do, like very desperately in the car, and you got the guys that like basically beat him up. I don't know if that's a gay bashing thing or what it is. It's kind of just a seedy spot that he's in. Yeah. And then you have Buck and his wife going into the donut thing. So it's like everything's kind of converging, and you've got like the cars going by at that part. And it's like the worst of the worst for all of these characters.
It's very Magnolia.
Yes.
In the way where it's the exact same thing with Magnolia, where it's like everybody's hitting rock bottom at the same time.
Yes. And they don't know it, but they're all so very close to each other, and the cars are intersecting and all those kind of things.
That is the most Magnolia shot of the whole movie, is when you see one car drive by, like it's a Roller Girl, and then you see Dirk's car, or the guys who just beat up Dirk, and then you see Buck
pulling into
it's all in one shot. That's like straight out of Magnolia for sure. So
you could like literally, if you just turned it on, you'd think you were watching Magnolia for sure. But yeah, that's like such a great part, because I love that Little Bill kind of serves as like the moment that things turn for all of the characters. Like it's not going to be the same after that, The house is tainted. He did it in the house where like everybody was thriving basically, and now it's like what happens after that. And then
it's the night saying Floyd Gondoli tells him they got to switch to VHS tape, and which is in Jack's mind is the downfall of his craft. It just becomes art or content, I should say.
Yeah, and shortly after that, then we hear about the Colonel, and obviously he's doing bad things with minors, which is unforgivable, and Jack knows it. And like you said in that scene, just by Jack not saying much, by Burt Reynolds, like superior acting in that, you realize he's not just like knowing he's losing a friend, he knows it's the downfall of everything that he's done in his career, because now there's no money coming in from the Colonel, and that's it. This relationship is done.
He's beholden to Gondoli from now on for good. There's no buffer in between.
Can we just rest in peace, Philip Baker Hall, right?
The great Philip Baker Hall. I forgot to send it to you. I just rewatched his scene in Seinfeld as Bookman, the book detective, one of the greatest performances in a sitcom of all time. If you haven't seen it, please watch it because it's beautiful. He's giving the exact same performance he gave in these movies in a Seinfeld episode.
I was going to say, he's kind of like fits anywhere in that way, like, you know, Jimmy Gator and this. And then he's in I know he's a big part of Hard Eight, which I can't recall that film too much. One time I should watch that again. But yeah, like he just seemingly was Paul Thomas Anderson's guy, you know, just perfect. And yeah, just recently passed away. It's like that. I mean,
he had the perfect blend of like refined character actor with gentleman qualities, but everything he was saying could be played for comedic effect, which is exactly what I think he's mentioned it before. His Seinfeld appearance kind of helped his career in getting into some of this later stuff in the 90s. So that was in the early 90s. He plays it. I mean, have you ever seen those scenes? Okay.
I mean, I'm sure I have because I've watched them all, but yeah.
He plays Bookman, the book detective, and he's hunting down a book that Jerry didn't return 30 years ago. So it's a ridiculous plot, but he plays it 100% straight. He plays it exactly the way he's playing like Floyd Gondoli or Jimmy Gator. Like he's playing it 100% sincere. It's just everything else around him is kind of ridiculous.
It's like bonkers, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Naked Gun type thing where he takes it serious and it's like the situation is ridiculous. And he's commented, he's like, yeah, that role kind of exposed like what type of vibe I was giving off, and that definitely led to him being in some of these movies for sure, and PTA seeing him. So
I watched or I looked up like the Colonel and what he had been in before, and I believe he was like a voice of like some animated stuff, but I didn't realize he died right after this film or like during filming. I can't remember. It was in 1997 he died of cancer. So I guess he might have been sick while he was filming it. I thought he was terrific too. The guy who plays like
yeah, so good.
You know, like, may I see it? And he's like,
Jack tells me you got a great big cock.
Yeah. And then the expression on his face, it stays on his face. It does not
forehead.
move.
That forehead moves like 3 inches in one drop.
It's like it's like a stroke. Like you said, like he says nothing. And then he just says, thank you, Dirk. Yeah. You know, and it's like, it's so good.
I mean,
think you better get some new shit. What do you think?
That's I mean, that's the beauty of both these movies. It's just pure ensemble perfection. Like everybody, even in just a few seconds, sometimes brings so much to it, and like little nuanced reactions and the way they say stuff. It's so clear that PTA was just. And we mentioned it, like when I realized like how much of an Altman guy he was, and then watching Nashville. Seeing kind of just the way everybody connected. It's like, it's so clear at such a young age, by the way. Yeah. You know, like what, 26, 27 when he made this, which is fucking crazy. Maybe 28. But it was just so clear that he was going for ensemble entertainment, and just so everybody was bringing a magnified performance, even if it's just a little bit for a little bit of the movie. And it just floats so well.
Well, I heard Paul Thomas Anderson talk about like the idea of making this film. I think I talked to you about this before, and maybe you know more about it. Was because in the Valley where he grew up in Los Angeles, he had seen all these like blank buildings and always wondered what they were. And, you know, somebody said, oh, they're making pornography in there or whatever. So
what's going on in those buildings, right?
Yeah. Like, you know, and he kind of had the idea to make, I guess they made a short. I've never seen the short, something about Dirk Diggler, but have you?
Yeah, I've never seen it. I've seen clips of it. So I mean,
it's not like an extra on the DVD, is it?
I was just about to pull out my two DVDs I had with this. So this was one of the best.
Oh, the yellow, orange.
Yes. Yeah. So this was the essential DVD back in the Suncoast days. And by the way, like this is just such a great release. This was like standard issue stuff in the era of DVDs. So it's like this is just what you got for movies, and that's just how great of an era
Patrick
it was.
is showing right now the DVD that we had. I'm sure it's the OG from the Suncoast days, which is those great cardboard boxes, 2 discs, commentary.
So good. So I don't know if it's been on there, but yes, he did make a short film, like the Dirk Diggler story. The star of it was actually the guy that Buck is talking to at the beginning, trying to sell the stereo to.
Oh, no shit.
That's who played Dirk in the short film. Yeah.
Go ahead and move with it if you feel like
it. Exactly.
Helps me.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Yeah, so he plays
Gotta get that TK421 modification. We do that right here. Very low price.
I was going to say, like, there is an episode version of this movie where we just do quotes the entire time.
It's so quotable. Again, I probably have seen it like 2,000 times. I mean, I really.
But I remember seeing clips of the short film a long time ago. Don't remember much about it, but yeah. So it's just like it shows like how much like PTA was like this was the movie he wanted to make. It's Hard Eight was his first like official theatrical release, but like this was his big break into the one he wanted to make at such a young age. I think so.
But yeah, the idea is so great. I mean, of course, then to make it all work with all the characters and stuff like that. And of course, Burt Reynolds historically did not like working on this film. I forget.
Well, I don't know everything. Yes, I feel like he maybe, assuming he changed his tune the second it became successful and he got nominated. But like, from what I understand, like at the time he thought he was like slumming it as an actor and like just working on this low rent independent movie that nobody's ever going to see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm sure that could be confusing for like a big actor like Burt Reynolds. Not that like his career in 1997 was as it was in the 70s, but still, you have this like gravitas about you, and then you go to like a set like a Paul Thomas Anderson set, probably looks like it's an independent film, and what am I doing here? But you could have no clue what it would be like once it's cut, all together.
Well, unfortunately, Wahlberg is the one who doesn't like this movie now. He's the one who's denounced it multiple times because oh yeah. I think it's mostly religion based, and him seeing it as like against his religion, something along those lines. I don't know all the things, but he's definitely vocally been like, I regret making Boogie Nights, which is unfortunate, but yeah. Which is insane because, like, what better? He's the best he's ever been here. It's like his best movie. So
fuck a Wahlberg movie these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, fuck it straight to hell. But like, my girlfriend likes some of those movies. I'm like, so she's like, she's like, yeah, it's just something to turn on, like, But every time I turn around, there's a fucking Mark Wahlberg movie where he's some action guy. Like, that's all I'm getting from him. But after this film, I thought he was doing like some great, like Perfect Storm. There was some other films that he was doing early in his career after this. Yeah, Departed. Like, what the fuck?
He is so fucking great. Like, he's great in lots of different stuff. It is just a shame that, like, certainly my favorite movie that he's ever been in is one that he just doesn't. He regrets doing. So.
Well, to each their own.
Yeah,
I think it's Mark Wahlberg. I don't think it's I like Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, like come on, dude. Boogie Nights. I don't think it's good. I
don't think it's art related. I don't think I don't think it's an issue with like the film itself. I think it's the porn aspects.
Yeah,
and so whatever.
I think that's also kind of what I think I heard Burt Reynolds say. Like, he just didn't like.
It's possible.
Yeah, but I will also say this. Like an actor back then that he would have no clue what his career would be. That was like one of his first movies. He was Marky Mark in Funky Bunch. That's like what people knew him about. And he's great in this. He's perfect for it. He's as naive as he needed to be, as like a kind of a new actor on the scene.
Well, we could talk a little bit. So he wasn't the original choice.
Who was the original choice?
Your boy, Leo. He's who was originally going to be in this movie. That's who PTA wanted. Didn't do it because of Titanic, which would have been coming out like a month after this. And Leo recommended Mark because they worked together on Basketball Diaries.
Basketball Diaries, yeah.
Yeah. So I actually think it's 10 times better with Mark because Mark is a little he's more in tune with what we described. He's more of an innocent, kind of dumb performance. Leo, I feel, would have made it a little bit more. I don't know.
He was pretty childlike at that point too. Like he has like
he could have done it. I just think Mark is perfect,
childlike,
so,
but also like the hero kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just think the simplicity that Mark Wahlberg brought is what makes it so fucking perfect. So,
totally. And then when you got to get to the complicated scenes where he is doing drugs and stuff, he plays those really well too.
Yeah.
And also as a singer and stuff like that, to get into those scenes where he's like acting as a bad singer, like it's pretty amazing.
I mean, that's the multi-layered shit was what makes it such an epic fucking comedy. So
yeah.
By the way, that song, The Touch, man, I did not know until maybe 5 or 6 years ago that was the song from Transformers, the cartoon from the 80s.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Oh, you're just learning that
just now.
It's the theme song from the Transformers movie from like 1986 or 87, whatever it is. It's like there's like a full rendition like in that movie, and it sounds like way more polished, obviously, in that. But then that's the song that they're doing. You Got the Touch. I honestly, I just thought it was just this beautiful fucking song that PTA maybe like got written for this, but no, like it's straight from the Transformers movies.
Incredible.
It's so good. You got to check out the original version because it'll make it 10 times funnier. So.
Well, in those scenes, as I was mentioning, that is Michael Mann's, which ended up being Amy Mann's, or Michael Penn, sorry, Chris Penn and Sean Penn's brother. As the engineer.
Really? Okay, yeah. So I feel like you mentioned that before. So that the producer.
I mentioned it last episode, yeah. And he's married to Amy Mann. They're still married.
The one who's working on it, not the one who tells him that he can't take the records. Not the older.
No,
the young guy.
The guy who's actually there.
They're
calling him Nick the whole time.
Yeah, that's a Penn brother. You're saying?
Yes.
I had no idea, and he's married to Amy Mann. Amazing.
Yeah, he's a pretty established musician himself, Michael.
That's
Penn.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I love that.
He's so good in that though too. Like just like I've been in like the.
You think it's taking down the vocals? I don't think so.
I've been in rooms where like people are like that, like they're kind of there because they have to be, like they're getting paid, so fine, but like they just like know that this is shit music. I've been in rooms like that, and it is like fucking.
Well, wait a minute, you're telling on yourself, Darren.
Well, yeah, it wasn't for my bands, I'll tell you.
Right,
that. My bands are always
exactly.
But yeah, like he plays it so well in that way, like, and probably why he was hired in that role anyway. But yeah, that's so great too, because like, okay, we're these guys that are more than the porn, right? Like Reed's like, well, I'm also a musician. I know I can't fuck my whole life, and that's fine.
I got on my own time.
I got fuck on my own time. Yeah. That also is so brilliant. He lets me block my own scenes. I don't let him block his own scenes.
I just noticed that when they're walking out, he's saying, "Oh, my only suggestion is maybe cut that part out." And he's telling that to Amber is after.
Not just that, he says also something about him being a black belt in karate.
Right.
He's like, yeah, he's like, why? So good, but yeah, that's so cool to know. Like that in the beginning, he knows he's special. He knows he has this thing, and he tells his mom, "You don't know what I'm going to be," but because he knows he can fuck. And that's such like a fun thing about the movies. It's like they're making the audience go on this adventure with a guy who really his superpower, the thing he was put on this earth to do, was to fuck. Because when he goes in and tries to do all these other things, these are things he likes. He likes music, he likes blah blah, but he's fucking horrible at it. You know what I mean?
Well, that gets into the American dream aspect, and just the fame in general is that like he does become a true star, and the fame and the fortune and the glory, it goes to his head, and a natural byproduct of that is thinking you're good at everything. Thus, in like, I can fuck, so of course I can record a great album too. So, and
it's the best part too, is like, because once you get that success, he's like talking about all the clothes he's getting and all the Italian, like he when he's explaining it like a kid would. Like all of a sudden he was thrust into like, this high society when he is still Eddie Adams from Torrance. Which,
I don't know, man. Like it is, because those scenes are still genuine. Like he's like, there's nothing malicious about him getting all those things at all.
No.
Yeah. So it's like
it's innocent. It's very innocent. All of it, yeah. But he's like, okay, well, I got this money now, so I'm going to get the things I always wanted. I'm going to try to like live it up a little bit, because
it is just natural stuff that is his downfall. It's really just like drugs and, like I said, a little bit of the ego that comes with fame. So it's like,
but even so, it's like the people around him more so than it is him. I don't think that necessarily like, and even Reed doing it.
You're right. Amber, his surrogate mother, as we talked about, like, because again, it all goes back to families. Amber loses her child, so Roller Girl and Dirk becomes her children. Like, she's the one who's like pushing the coke on him.
Well, that's the first introduction to it. It's from Amber, yeah. And then even Jack at the end, like, and all the times you see Jack and her together, they are the mother and father, because Jack is like the supportive dad to her, like the supportive husband, really, who's like, you're the foxiest bitch. I love that line so much, and then just like, get some good rest, honey tits, or whatever he says to her when they come back. Like, it's really great, Well,
let's just map it out really quick. Jack, patriarch. Amber, matriarch. Father, mother. Dirk, son. Roller Girl, daughter. Scotty, the lovelorn cousin, is a little weird. Buck, the uncle that is not quite sure about his identity. Little Bill, who's the uncle who has no identity, or has no dignity, I should say. And then Reed is the cool older brother who just wants a best friend in Dirk.
Yeah. And then, the friend from across the street, Thomas Jane, comes over and fucks.
I was going to say, so Todd Parker is the party boy uncle that comes in.
Want what's in the other room?
The
safe in the master bedroom.
I'm joking. That's what's in the safe. Honestly, a revelation. Thomas Jane in this movie as Todd Parker. It was easily like one of my favorite parts of it being a comedy, watching this in my 20s. It was like, this Thomas Jane is so fucking awesome. Such a great character actor. We talked about him when he was in Face Off.
Great beard stash.
Yeah, amazing beard stash. Face Off episode, going on to The Mist. He's just always been an awesome fucking character actor that I love. And Todd Parker is honestly one of the funniest parts of this movie.
Todd Parker, get over here.
Yeah. And it's just so, like, it's so subtle the way you learn that he's a male stripper. He's like, "Oh, you dancing tonight? No, I don't dance on. Are you working tonight? No, I don't dance on Sundays." And he's just like, "Oh, he's from Party Boys." So
yeah. He's like, "Oh, cool, you're a dancer." Yeah, like, and that's the thing in that world. Everybody's kind of like innocent about everybody's like job. That's like, cool. He's like a fucking dancer. Like, no problem. No, it's not a big deal to these porn stars.
Well, everybody's working class, even if they're on screen. Because like you start talking like Becky when she's like meeting Jerome, and he's a regional manager at Pep Boys. It's like, Reed's like, that's awesome. Like, why wouldn't you want to be there?
Exactly. And I do love, we talked about it just a second ago, but like Buck trying to find his identity, it's such a cool part of this film too, because it also takes you through the eras of where we're living, like at the end, he's finally like got that like kind of like 80s fucking like rap like persona that fits him so well. But like all of it
inside you.
And he's got like the Rick James look, which is the best one, where he's just kind of sitting there like, and he takes it off. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. That's moving into the 80s too, where he's like, I keep on trying to find out who I am and I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a great arc, and just in terms of like finding an identity he's proud of, and it does kind of stem from not shame, but like him still having a little bit of the outsider view on porn, where he doesn't quite fully feel like he's like a fully dignified person, and then that comes obviously to heed when he's applying for the bank loan, when he's legitimately told, like, no, you're not worthy because of your identity as a porn actor.
Right.
And so it's like, it is just kind of like a great arc of just like him struggling to find it. And then through chaos, he's able to escape it with the robbery scene. And just
through chaos. It's like a force majeure, right? Like, just happens.
Total Magnolia moment where it's just like, it's a complete coincidence. Where like, I get this new identity now because of an insane moment that I had no control over.
Just thinking about like Paul Thomas Anderson writing all this, it's like blows my mind.
When he's like 25 or 26, it's like
so smart. So, and then being able to execute it, like all of it. It's like insane.
I mean, I do know he comes from a family of TV production. I know his father was thoroughly involved in some sort of TV production. So at least he was had a early start in storytelling, visual storytelling.
Yeah,
so,
I guess I didn't know that.
Makes sense.
We talk about music in this film too. Like whenever you're doing something that's a period piece like this, and then just like hitting a grand slam on all of the music, and not just the music that is of the time, but also just like the score of it all, But
it's also like one thing I realized is like it's not just great songs. It's like they're great because they so effectively capture like what the characters like think they're feeling or think they are. It's like it's the perfect. We talk about this all the time. It's like music and needle drops. I personally think it's one of the best things about film. It can definitely be overused, obviously. Somebody kind of mimicking Scorsese and needle drops.
Yes.
And you start getting to like the MCU, the superhero movies, the James Gunn kind of style. A little bit overdone, but like when it's like reserved and methodical and intentional, it's like the songs like are legit just like giving you insight to the characters. And it's like, that's what, because I talk about this all the time. It's like when you read literature all the time, you respond more to like the audio visual stuff when you're watching movies because it's all stuff you can't do in literature. You can't make Mad Max Fury Road into a novel. It's just a completely different thing, and it's not where it's at. And you also don't have music and needle drops that effectively like convey like how they feel about a character and the experience of characters. It's like that's when it's done good. It's my favorite thing in the world. And there's just so many parts in this movie where it's like a song is legit just giving you insight to what's going on in this character's head. It's fucking awesome.
I mean, going into this film as like someone who could watch it for the first time, I always envy that for like movies that I love, but like this one especially, like you can imagine like telling somebody you need to watch this film and they've never seen it before. Like how can anybody say that they don't like it? I would be so shocked, Recently I watched, not to get on a tangent, but recently I watched Cape Fear, both of them. Mitchum,
the fucking man.
Oh, so good in that. And I got
a Mitchum movie coming up, just FYI.
Oh, cool. So, I was thinking about Night of the Hunter because it's similar in that way, and how Mitchum plays those. But then, of course, Scorsese's version, which is equally incredible. Both of those, and I was just over the weekend did a art thing, and I was telling people, I was like, oh man, just rewatch these. I always loved the Scorsese Cape Fear, and I've the 60s version as well. So I watched those religiously back in the Suncoast days, both of them. But they are both on Criterion right now, and I'm like, it's been a while since I've seen them, and it's like they're like Boogie Nights in the way that I would like suggest them to anybody, and I cannot imagine anybody not completely loving them. Like who have you ever talked to that says I don't like Boogie Nights?
Well, I mean, just between those two, Boogie Nights has the benefit of being, as we said, a comedy, and is very fun to watch. Cape Fear is a mean fucking movie.
It's mean. Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a different conversation, but
both versions, by the way, versions are fucking mean.
Brutal. I mean,
hard to believe the '60s version is as mean as it is. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean, I like it was one of many movies, many scenes, like because I saw the Scorsese version when I was like too young, and the scene, the worst scene that happens. Yeah, I mean, I was probably like 10 or 11 when I saw that, and so it's like, I mean, just of scenes where it's like you're just like you don't feel like a child anymore. You're like, holy shit, that's what's capable in the world. So
right, because of course Scorsese is not going to shy away from it. But I think.
No shadows in the Scorsese version. The
director of the '60s version, they definitely, you could see Mitchum, like, but they cut away, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Ugh, dirty shit. I mean, the last time I watched it was a couple years ago, and it was way better than I remember. I was
Counselor.
But I also had the benefit. Yeah, I had the benefit of like recognizing Peck and Mitchum this last time I watched it. Yes, exactly. And I didn't, and Joe Don Baker also, fucking love him. It's so good. So I definitely have more appreciation than when I first was watching it back then. So
Yeah, not to get on that tangent, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like it's like a movie you see that you like could tell anybody about and be like, if you tell me you don't like it, we're not going to be friends because it's that good and it's that like hard to believe that it could not be liked by anybody. So this Magnolia, I could see people saying that they don't like it. Like I was saying, my mom didn't really like it when she saw it. There's people that I think could not like it. But okay, maybe if you're like super religious or something and don't want to watch something about porn, fine. But you could never say that this is an airtight film that has it all.
I mean, I don't trust people who don't like Razorback, so that's kind of my
one of my favorite episodes. Favorite episodes.
That's kind of my litmus test. So
yeah.
Okay, what were we talking about last? Family. We were kind of touching on Reed a little bit. Great John C. Reilly.
Yeah, we didn't really go into.
I mean,
Reed.
he just wants a best friend.
Yeah,
that's all Reed wants, man.
It's so great because it's a difference of like Reed. Not that Reed was the it guy before Dirk got there, but Reed like accepts him with open arms. Like he's testing him a little bit, but he's like at the same time,
but as a friend, it's just like to become like, hey, is this somebody who I can have at my back? He's not testing him out of jealousy at all. So,
but that's the difference when Dirk gets the new kid on the block, and he's like, no, but that's the childlike thing about Dirk is that he's going to be like, no one's replacing me. Like, and he's going to be a dick about it because he's just a child still, you know?
I love the way he comes out. It's like, you're Dirk Diggler. Like, it's like,
I don't know. Stupid.
This guy's even dumber than
Dirk even
is,
dumber.
So.
Yeah. He's like the carbon copy, but dumber. Yeah.
Right.
It's a new kid on the block. New kid on the street.
Oh, man.
Wait, did he just say you're from the street? Did he say you just live on the street? No.
People tell me I look like Han Solo.
Really?
You ever work out at Vince's over here? Oh,
no, I would have seen you. Yeah. The way he plays that is so great too, because of course he doesn't even give him a minute to answer because he already in his head knew he was going to ask that without needing an answer, you know?
Yeah. I noticed this last time, I just love noticing these little things over the years, is when he gives him the margarita with salt, Dirk like spits it out like a couple of times. He like spits out the salt like after drinking it. Like either he doesn't know it's supposed to have salt on there, or the salt is just shitty. For whatever reason, Dirk is just like, why is this shit in my mouth? And just
one could think that's his first ever margarita.
I would hope so.
Yeah, rock and roll,
responsible drinking. Yeah. I'm gonna keep on rocking, guys. So.
Yeah. I guess Green Day just won an award like a year ago or something. He did that exact speech on stage. It's fucking great.
Oh, these films can be better. I'm going to keep on rocking if you want this. So,
where the fuck is Ringo?
So Reed, now that I think about it, Reed has almost zero arc in this movie. He's just the steady best friend, and I don't mean that like in a negative way.
He's just there for it all. Yeah,
he doesn't learn anything in this movie, but he also doesn't like do anything horrendous. He's just the steady older brother that just wants a good friend. Although he doesn't really look out for Dirk too much, he's just going to be there for him. So,
well, I guess one could say the way he does look out for him is just by being there. Because if he wasn't there with him, he would have probably went maybe more down the deep end. You know?
Okay. That's a good point. So we can get into Ray Hod Jackson. If Dirk went alone to Ray Hod Jackson with Todd Parker, you're right.
Does
Dirk
he leave there alive? I don't know.
Probably not, actually. Now I think about it. So,
come here, puppies.
So we can talk about this a little bit. I mean, honestly, the scene that makes this movie go from great to an all-time epic. It's like, it honestly is like one of my favorite film scenes of all time. Got one of my favorite needle drops of all time with Jesse's Girl. I mean, I'm not alone in saying this, but like the entire drug deal scene is fucking perfection from start to finish with Alpha.
The anxiety in that scene of the fucking firecrackers.
I mean, just picking up on it, like everything is meant to make you feel like something's off or something's wrong. So like him just in the underwear.
You don't even know. You don't even know what drugs Alfred Molina's on because he's so fucking out of his mind, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, puppies? I just know it. That's fucking so
I mean,
good.
yeah. Again, watching this as a kid, it was just like just such a revelation. Just in terms of like, okay, so this guy comes in for one scene, and he's honestly one of the most impactful parts of the movie. So just like really understanding like what an ensemble movie can be, just in terms of like one actor, Alpha Molina coming in for what 6-7 minutes tops of a movie, and just having that much of an impact and elevating the movie that much in such a fun way.
Because you're kind of like in that scene too. Yeah. And like Alfred Molina, of course, we've covered him a few times in this. I don't think we did the Indiana Jones, but we definitely did when he was on Coffee and Cigarettes, right? I don't know if we covered anything else at Alfred Molina. Well, I guess Magnolia, because he's in Magnolia, right? So at least 3 movies so far Alfred Molina has been talked about, but none of them have been any kind of lead acting role. In fact, I don't know if Alfred Molina really does any lead acting. Everything I've ever really kind of seen him as is like a supporting role.
Yes. I mean, he's definitely always been more of a character actor.
Yeah. But Doc Ock, Spider-Man, Sam Raimi.
I mean, honestly, still the best superhero movie of all time.
I know. I know.
I think people. That's the thing with every time a big new Spider-Man comes along, people kind of.
Yeah,
most people
that first Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's always comparison to the old ones, but then most of the time people cannot argue with how fucking great the Sam Raimi ones are, especially number 2. Especially with like just the direction, which just does not exist anymore, just in terms of like shot composition and just how like everything it's kind of made to look a little AI now. And so they look at some of those action scenes, like people are just like blown away, but like just feels like.
Well, the Raimi horror was so perfect for it, right? You know, like throwing that element into that film when
again, you always got to go back to the horror directors, Peter Jackson style, Sam Raimi style, when you want to make a good big budget movie. So.
Well said.
Ray Jackson, Sister Christian, going into Jesse's Girl. Jesse's Girl is probably my favorite needle drop of all time in a movie. Like, it's just so fucking perfect. And
until you watch The Ending of House of Wax, of course.
I mean, I was going to leave that for later, but definitely one of the best surprises / best new metal scores that you've ever recommended. By
that's
far.
right. Yeah.
I missed. There was a sale on House of Wax Blu-ray. I still need to pick that up.
Oh, dude.
I'm going to get it eventually. Trust me. That movie is standing on top. But the camera hold on Dirk's face with Jesse's Girl playing, with the, like 25 seconds where he's just like,
realizing what's happening. Yeah.
What the fuck has my life turned to?
Yeah.
Like,
it gives you so much.
And again, like, this is why it's like one of my favorite Wahlberg films is like he's doing so little and yet conveying so much in that stare, because he's so effectively showing like a dead stare that he's dead inside, just like where the fuck is my life got me.
Yeah, this is when he realizes it is rock bottom, because he's been trying to be like, well, I'm still Dirk Diggler the whole time, and I'm going to like overcome this, and this is just like I'm doing my own thing and I'm building something. And then he realizes at that moment, no, like I've gone down the deep end. I mean, and it's so brilliant that like you get out to his car and you see the fucking smash on the front of it. His car, that cherry red fucking Corvette, is beat up, you know? Everything in his life that he loves and was so pristine before is now tarnished and broken and cracked.
And so that stare and him hitting rock bottom, again, like that could have been played like seriously, but PTA decides to play Jesse's Girl over it.
Right.
And that's the combination of those two. It just makes it so fucking perfect, and it is like it's just the apex of this movie. And again, like the fact that this movie has a trajectory where like my favorite scene is like the end scene. That's something that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. Like if you have like favorite parts of movies, like if it's at the beginning, it's less effective, but if it's like at the end, you actually have a crescendo and a plane to go to, like it affects it so much more. So,
well, my favorite movie needle drop in this film, I'd say,
please tell me. Yeah,
Beach Boys.
Not
necessarily a needle drop. It's just so perfectly ties everything together.
Oh, yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's so great because it does have a happy ending. You know,
so that was one of my questions. Is it a happy ending?
I think so.
Okay.
Because, when you see this stuff, this kind of goes back to what I said earlier. When you see this world, whether you like porn or you think like anything about that world or whatever, it doesn't matter, because in these people's minds, it exists in perfect harmony when we enter their world. They're not really affected by the outside world at all. Like, this is a sort of private planet that they're on, and they're thriving, they're succeeding. It's a great time in their lives, and everybody is not like, they may have some personal struggles, but it is a good family.
Yeah.
And it is working for everybody, and they're finding, as you mentioned so brilliantly, like what they're missing in everybody else. So by the time that he does, like when Dirk realizes, I did, like in that stare, he is thinking like, I had it all, and it was perfect. And like, what has happened to my life? And I don't have anything that was, and it was like everything I ever wanted, I had. And like, now here I am. When he finally goes back and he gets that hug from Jack and he takes him back, it is you're like, as an audience member, wanting to cry. And then he sits there and he cries, and Amber's laughed that whole time. I mean, let's just talk about that for a minute. Like, coming home for Dirk Diggler.
Yes. So yeah, that, as you mentioned, like them having this world. Yeah, it is the manufactured family. That's the patriarch Jack. That's the other thing. It's like his art, in quotes, within that world and within that manufactured family is the only place where it's like considered like actual art. And like, actually, like, right. He's a true artist.
And you believe that when they talk about it that way.
I love the meme. I don't know if I've ever sent it to you, but I've just used it like multiple times when he's like sitting there with Ricky Jay, who we mentioned last time, the editor, and he says, "This is the best work we've ever done." Yeah. It's like the goofiest fucking movie and line deliveries.
But you believe him, and you think, oh,
yeah.
This is the one I'll be remembered for.
Right.
Says, yeah.
This is the best work we've ever done. And so it's like, in that insular manufactured family world, yeah, it is the best work he's ever done, and he is a true artist. And so like, that is why that him coming home is both, I genuinely believe he loves Dirk, but at the same time, it's like, it is also like business and them working together with that family.
I see it a little bit more like Jack realized, like, as much as he won't admit it and he'll never admit it, and it happens in the scene where Dirk leaves, he says, this is, you guys, I'm the star, it's my big dick, like blah, blah, blah. In that scene, Jack definitely thinks, no, I'm in control. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Right.
And he's like, you're not the boss. And he's like, yes, I am. Like, that scene isn't, we haven't even talked about that scene when he says, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And then he pushes him and you feel that push. By the time he comes back and he sees Jack also knows his life isn't as good without Dirk Diggler, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, as you mentioned with Roller Girl, when she beats the shit out of him about the school guy, Jack goes back, beats the shit out of him. He's punching him. Well, no, Jack punches him first. I mean, and he's 100% just punching Dirk, like right there. Yeah, so I see that as that.
I can hear you, what you're saying. I don't think he's that angry at Dirk. I think he's more like disappointed that this fell apart. And I think he's like frustrations, but I don't think it's necessarily thinking he's Dirk. That's why it's an interesting, I don't know. It's an interesting view for sure. I don't see like for whatever reason, I don't see Jack Horner as really ever being mad at Dirk. I see him as like being very upset that it got so off track. And he's going to do the best he can, but like, he's already in a predicament because like the world is.
Yeah, but there's probably also guilt for himself for not being a better surrogate father. Maybe,
but he also probably knows he gave this kid everything he could want and more, and he fucking, got involved in shit he shouldn't have gotten involved. Because it's also amazing in this world that they live in. There is coke around, there is drinks and stuff like that, but nobody really in the beginning like overdoes it. Nobody's like not functioning. Nobody is like staying up for 2 days. It only happens after the Little Bill stuff happens that it's like, yeah, in the 80s, everybody like kind of goes off the rails with that.
Well, you got the girl at the Colonel thing. He was at the first party.
Right, but at the same time, it's not any of the characters we know.
That's true.
That's somebody who
You're
couldn't
right.
handle
I
his
see what you're
shit or
saying.
whatever. Yeah.
So like their family was still functioning.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, like I said, I think Jack Horner at that moment when he's hugging Dirk, he's like, I'm not going to shun you away or push you away. You are my son and you do belong here. And I forgive you wholeheartedly. But there's a little bit in there for him that realizes things haven't been great over here either without Dirk.
True. I mean, that's the thing about families. Like, I mean, a true family,
Yeah.
they need each other. So,
Yeah.
whoa, poignant, huh?
Yeah.
Todd Parker.
Todd.
Who just wants to live in the goddamn break room. Okay, so ending. Any other thoughts on the final drug scene as we loop back to that?
Who do you think that little like Asian boy is that's throwing off the firecrackers?
I mean, it's somebody's fuckboy. So
You think so?
yeah, I mean,
Because like,
probably.
obviously it's not explained at all, but that's what you surmise. Like, okay, this is like, yeah, fuckboy or something like that.
he's definitely there as a fuckboy for sure.
It's so interesting too because who is this character? We don't know. We have no clue, but he's clearly rich. He's got his own like bodyguard.
He's got more money than God.
Yeah, he's a huge black guy with this fucking piece. Like, and I love that scene where they show it and flash it with the camera. So brilliant. And of course, we know that like as soon as this guy tries this shit, he's gonna know it's fucking bogus. They're dead.
Todd going crazy. 99 red balloons playing. Oh, it's so fucking good.
Also, the way it's decorated in there, it's just so perfectly 80s.
He just likes to. Rahad just likes to party, dude. My awesome mixtape. So.
Can you imagine being in like that kind of life? Like that's your life where you go in to like hang out with somebody like that? What the fuck?
That's what, by the way, for years I wrote on my CDs, my awesome mixtape number so and so, because of this movie. And Rahad Jackson is my awesome mixtape number 6. So that was just my default in the CD burning days of the early 2000s, which I look back on very fondly. So
oh yeah,
mix
which
CDs,
we had those days back because of all the streaming things I mentioned earlier.
mix CDs, and I was a little young for mixtapes, but mix CDs were the primary place and catching all the great tunes on Boogie Nights. So, okay, drug scene, and yes, Dirk's return is beyond like heartfelt, like that when he's apologizing and you see the back of Jack's head and you don't see his reaction, you're just watching him like listen to it, and while you're watching Dirk give that speech, so good. I mean, again, like it is like shocking, like how good like some of these performances are.
Yeah, and even like you're saying when Burt Reynolds is saying this is my best work, you're like, he's saying it completely straight, like. Yeah. And you don't think it's like bullshit. What's
Tarantino stole it for the end of Glorious Bastards. So it's like, this is my masterpiece. So
that's what he said.
That's what Brad Pitt says. This may be my masterpiece at the end of Glorious when he carves it into his head. So
that's right.
It's kind of like a similar vibe.
What state, Pat? The state of California? I know what state I'm in.
State check. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I know. Like
Scotty J. Scotty J. Just tragic
characters.
Just wants to be loved.
Wants to be loved. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm an idiot. A fucking idiot. And gets the car that's like the cheapest ass version of fucking. And I've never caught this before where he's like, basically getting ready for that moment where Dirk will come out and see it. And he's like, oh, I just got it painted, so it might be a little sticky. I never heard him say that before. Like, so it makes you think he even bought it, like where it was even in shittier shape than it was. Like he's just like trying his best to make it look exactly like Dirk's car.
Yeah.
I see you look at me sometimes.
So this was 97. So this would have been 1 year after Twister. So a good 2-year run for Philip Seymour Hoffman getting everybody's views. So.
Man, rest in peace. What a guy. What a actor.
I know. I saw him when he presented his movie directed at the Music Box, and he presented it.
Oh, no shit.
Jack Goes Boating, maybe 2010-ish. But yeah, it was a movie he directed, so he was at the Music Box and gave like 30-minute speech, just talking about the movie, Q&A following it. So it's awesome seeing there.
Dude, you're pretty fucking fortunate for that, I'll tell you.
I remember he was just wearing like a super chill sweatshirt, and he had like headphones on. He just legit looked like he was just walking around the city, and then just showed up to talk about the movie.
You like that?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah. I would say, okay, Mattress Man, one of my favorite performances. But here as Scotty, and I don't know exactly, maybe it's
Mattress Man. Oh, from
I would say that's that Mattress Man.
I was not picking up.
Shut.
Certainly the most aura that he's ever had in the role. Like, he's fucking cool as hell. Man.
And
his hair looks great.
Yeah,
he's got style. He's got swag.
Because he
plays a good asshole. So
I was gonna say, even in that movie, it's not a huge part, but it's very memorable. So, but I was gonna say for that, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I don't know if it's in the commentary. Maybe I think you've probably listened to it more than me. But I know like the phallicness of him when he's like, and it's so awkward where he's like trying to get ahead of Dirk, and he's like going down the stairs and he's putting the thing in his mouth. It's fucking brilliant. And I don't know like how much of that was improvised or what. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you notice the way he's holding the paperclip thing, and then just like sucking on the pen when he's just walking around, it's like you can't see anything else other than that. So
yeah.
You see that.
And I just love it because of the awkwardness of it all, where he is like, wants to get in front of him, but then he's like behind him, and they're like in this small stairway and stuff. It's an incredible scene. And of course, also, I'm Philip Seymour Hoffman, so much credit to him.
Yeah, I just love the little nuances of his character introduction that PTA gives him. Just that stupid little like zero in when he sees Dirk. Like the screen goes like black and
zeros in.
Yeah, it's like it's such a
like this is all I see. Yeah,
it's an unnecessary but completely perfect way to just show. It's like, all right, this guy's obviously in love with
2
Dirk.
seconds, right? Yeah. It's like that's like the best shit. Is like you have to say nothing. But it's like, it's either an expression on someone's face, or it's like, this little zero in moment. Masterclass of Paul Thomas Anderson in this film.
Well, anybody we haven't talked about? Julianne Moore's performance just in general?
I mean, I don't even know why that it's taken us this long to talk about her, but I think Julianne Moore is in Magnolia, I talked about it last time, just like how incredible she was in that like pharmacy scene. I sucked his cock.
Yeah. I love this performance 10 times more than her in Magnolia. That it's not that she's bad in that at all. She was great in it. Just it is a little over the top in Magnolia in a good way. Whereas here it's just so much more heartfelt. Like it's just so, I feel like her sadness here is so much more true. And I mean, her in Magnolia, it is a little over the top.
Well, she's supposed to be like the chick who like went into it for the money, but then fell in love with the guy for real.
Yeah.
She's actually a mother who lost her son, and she's like trying to find her way. I guess
I just feel for this character a little bit more because, like, you truly get the sense, like, even though she's kind of a dirtbag, it's like she should lose her son. It's like she genuinely is like torn up about it. And,
when they go into that, like thing, and they talk about the visitation and everything, you're like, well, like nobody was going to let her have her son, like, with this lifestyle and all the drugs and all the things around there. And then, the classic Louis Guzman thing that I always say to you is like, where would you dig? Here's what I say. What you dig. And then, should I get that? Hey, hello. Hey, has anybody seen what's her name again?
Maggie.
Has everybody seen a Maggie? You Maggie? No, there's no Maggie here. No, it's okay. It's okay.
So Maggie is Amber's real name, right?
Yeah.
They just don't know. Okay.
Right. Because he's like that,
so it's so fucking beautiful just how that is. Like,
I know. Because at the end of it,
some kid looking for his mom.
Yeah, some kid looking for his mom. That's how you know. But otherwise you would have never known her name was Maggie, because you're like, who else would this be?
Right. But also, like, how do you not put it together? You're at Jack's house. How many different people are calling that house for somebody's mom? It's like, how do you... Buck and Louis Guzman, they should have put that together. There was Amber.
Yeah, but nobody else says that they're like, because, Jack says it a few times too. He's like, she's a great mom, she's a great mother to her children or something.
Oh, you're saying, okay, I see, because they don't even know that Amber has a child. But we mentioned it last time. He puts down the phone, says, watch that for me. And you just cut to Buck and he's just staring at it for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, you did say that. I definitely noticed it this time through. That's so
watch that for me. So, oh, so good. Yes. Julianne Moore, amazing arc in this. Speaking of Louise Guzman, a couple of deleted scenes I'm going to mention. There is a deleted scene when he does get put into a film, but then he can't perform because he has a tiny dick. Because he gets so worried about it. Because the whole movie, he's like, put me in the movie, Jack, put me in the movie. He's asking Amber, yes, help me get put in the movie. So there's a deleted scene when they are going to have a sex scene that he films, and he can't do it because he's too worried about his tiny dick. So that one's good. There's a great montage, actually, shortly before into the 80s when he's like still winning awards, and the song that is playing when Dirk is in his room at the beginning, and it's like the upbeat, up-tempo, like positive song. It's like super like 70s style. So there's like a whole montage, like kind of like showing all the characters where they're at. It's like just before the 80s, so it's just before the downfall. And I thought that's a great one that could have stayed in there, would have been great. And then also you mentioned Dirk's car that was all smashed up. Mm-hmm. So there's a whole arc where Dirk and Reed are high, but they get a call from Becky Barnett, the black porn actress. Mm-hmm. She got married. She left. There's a whole arc about her getting beat the fuck up by Jerome, like her husband. So like he's like beating the shit out of her.
That's not in there at all.
Yeah, no, it's completely cut out. And so she calls them. They go to try to pick her up, and they're high as fuck when they're driving. So that's when he smashes the car trying to go rescue her, and that's why the car is smashed.
Man, I don't remember these at all, but they're all on DVD, huh?
Yeah, these are all just on this stuff. This great. Like again, I always go back to this. It's so good. So all the good extra stuff. And yeah, I have not listened to the 2 commentaries on here for years, but I know they are some of the peak. They're up there with the John Carpenter, Kurt Russell commentaries, which is like some of the best stuff
like
of all
there's
time.
Something with Mark Wahlberg where he talks about breaking his dick in there, right? Yeah.
That's the beautiful part about it. They talk about useful stuff and behind the scenes stuff and insights, but like they're also just fucking around like half the other half of the time. So, which is the best type of commentary. It's like you should be either having like lots of fun with
the
it.
fact why he doesn't like wants to stay away from this a little bit, because I think he was a little reckless then,
Only PTA commentary that he's ever done by him, which is
really
unfortunate. He's never done it for any of his other movies. So,
yeah, interesting. He's been a little more vocal, at least social media wise and stuff like that, because I think most people these days that make films like know that they have to sell it a little bit, and so he was a little more vocal about meaning and things like that. Not that he did a commentary, but for one battle.
Well, he knew that one was going far in the Oscars. So.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. What? Yeah, I know you don't like One Battle. I'm trying to think about the ending. So I think we've kind of covered most of the film at this point. There's so much to cover.
Well, my second favorite needle drop is, and we haven't even talked about the dick yet, is the very end scene after the dick is it's a living thing.
I'm a star. I had to.
If you're not watching YouTube, he even got up and mimed it. So
yeah.
Yes, Living Thing by Electric Light Orchestra. I mean, it's the fucking greatest end credits needle drop. So it's kind of got two of my favorite needle drops, like mid movie, but then also end credits needle drops. Yeah. But yeah, so he shows his dick. That is kind of like a great structure of the movie. It's like you have this entire movie revolved around his penis, and then
you finally get to see it.
You don't see it at all, and then you finally see it, and just that. And
I love that they
that's all he's got. So,
do you like the choice to show the penis?
I mean, it's a great penis. Yeah,
I don't think. Well, I don't think you need to see it though, right? But it's nice, I think, in a way that they did. I'm just kind of wondering, does it matter if they show it?
No, I think it's fantastic. That
Yeah.
Again, the fact that this whole movie and this whole family kind of revolves around this penis.
Yeah,
and then you finally shows it.
Our MacGuffin of the
film. I'm a big bright shining star. It's like, of course, you almost would feel cheated if you didn't get to see the penis again.
Right. Yeah, it is like, yeah, not that it's a fully MacGuffin because a penis is a real thing, but like it is the MacGuffin of this film, you know.
It is the physical thing that is the catalyst for most people's actions in the movie. You're right. It is true. So,
and it also is so interesting, and I've always thought this, and I don't know if anybody else thinks this, but I always thought that end scene was so reminiscent of like Raging Bull.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say Brando, which is kind of like connected there.
That's what he's talking about, though. Like, you know, it could have been a contender, that scene. You mean?
I guess so I'm putting it as a through line. So yeah,
but like, you know what I'm talking about? He's like, you know, in Raging Bull, is like always talking about. He's in the, you know, doing the contender line basically in the mirror, but it feels like that. He's like all by himself, and he's kind of like, you get to see Dirk Diggler, like the real, like that's really who he is. You know, it's like kind of how you saw him earlier on in the film when he was in his room, and he's like looking at himself in the mirror and stuff like that. Yeah. Those moments are kind of nice for the audience because there's nobody else around. And you're really truly getting Dirk Diggler, you know, or Eddie Adams, I guess. I
also like it was that very end scene. The way his style is kind of the more positive, lighter side of the 80s, the Miami Vice vibe that he has.
You see it's like Ray-Bans down on the
the slick back hair, the complete Miami Vice Don Johnson style. It's like you're still in the 80s, but you kind of got a little bit of the little cooler side of the 80s and not the tragic turn from the early 80s. So
agreed. It's perfect. But that's why I think everybody like kind of like at least in their own world and how that works out, like kind of like do well. You know, they got the new addition to the family. They got the babies in the pool. They're keeping one of the family members alive by keeping Little Bill's portrait on the wall. And you got like everybody kind of back together.
He's not going to piss in the pool, is he?
Totally. And he's like, I love it when he's walking around. It's like mellow. I just want to keep it mellow, you know? And you're like, get it. Like, he does not want any more drama. Like, let's just keep this fucking mellow.
Love it. I fucking love it. Man.
Foxiest.
I feel like we picked the right movie for our 100th episode. So.
Perfect. Lot to discuss in that film. And I imagine anybody that's made it this far listening is also a huge fan of this film. And I would love to hear what other people have to say about Boogie Nights, especially our boy Don, who always is so cool about commenting his take on films. I always feel like I learned something new from Don when he comments, you know?
Don's always been a wealth of information.
Yeah.
And whenever he does give insight, my assumption is he doesn't have to Google any of that. So
no,
that's all. It's all coming straight from that big movie brain of his. So yeah,
exactly. Like, and again, you know, for anybody listening that doesn't know, this is a video version on YouTube, and it will be there. But it's also, of course, on every streamer that is available to listen. And nowadays, most of the ones that you can listen to, you can also watch. So, because I also upload it to Spotify. You can do it too with Apple Podcasts, but I haven't quite figured out how to like upload the episodes to that yet. So it's all a work in progress. It always changes. It's changed a lot for us in the last 5 years. Lots of ways nowadays. I think more people watch YouTube or watch podcasts than they do listen to them. But you know, we're there both ways.
That's how I like it. You know? Yeah, it's a good hangout. I'm realizing, yes, we're on YouTube. I should have done a porn stash for this episode. I mean, my beard is full. I just got it trimmed finally in this summer weather, but I could have done the full-on stash.
You could have done like
you could go back if you go back a year. Dude, yeah, his stash is kind of the stash that I've been wanting for years. So, but go back a year on YouTube, you can't see a full mustache. So
you got that Thomas Jane like look anyway. You know, you might as well like pull up to. Yeah, just don't get yourself shot trying to like steal somebody's drugs from their bedroom, though.
I'll introduce you. Yeah, introduce her to my lap.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Thomas Jane. I mean, yes, his delivery.
The original Punisher.
Wanting what's under the rec room and the goddamn fucking rec room. I mean, again, I just keep on going back to him. When I was younger, it's like he was just the chaotic part of this movie that I loved. And yeah, he's just such a fucking great actor. We're definitely going to cover The Mist at some point. So.
Yeah. Well, is that it for this conversation on Boogie Nights? I mean, my God, I feel like we could talk forever on it.
I mean, I'm just looking through my notes. I mean, yeah, a lot of it. You said you saw this maybe 1,800 times. I've probably watched it 1,300 times. So between the two of us, I think we've got it really pretty well covered and exhausted in terms of our.
I mean, but as we said before, like it's kind of, there's also that moment we haven't talked about where they're like all back in the club and they're all zinging and that they decide to do a dance, together and that. I mean,
that's the beautiful part of like this downfall story is like they go up and they're having the absolute apex of experience in life in general. Like everybody's getting everything they wanted out of life.
It's funny, the arcs in this film are actually like they're not subtle at all. They're very, very
that's why it's so enjoyable to watch. It's very clear when somebody's doing great and it's very clear when somebody's doing
exactly. Yeah. It's like
somebody's having a rough go of it.
It's like under a microscope, like the moments those arcs happen, it's like so focused. But and then just as you talked about the DVD, like in general, like that was one of the greatest DVDs growing up that any of us have ever had, I'm sure.
That was already purchased at Suncoast. I mean, we got Nina Hartley as Little Bill's wife, porn star. I don't know his name, but I do know the actor who plays Julianne Moore's husband. He was a porn star.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, kind of a greasy looking dude. And so,
I mean, I kind of look like Nick Cave in a way.
But he was an older porn star. I do love Brock Landers and Chess Rockwell as the Bond characters, and I mean the cut to this when they actually go into those movies is just like so beautiful. Like Marky Mark, he's got the full mullet there. Dirk has the full mullet, and the music is so perfect. But then like just the way PTA shoots it, like it puts it on screen. It's like it's legit like you're watching like just a cheesy
70s, or 80s, either way, film style.
We talked about the music scene, the touch, and it being one of the when you realize how much of a comedy that is. So. And just him being 28 at this movie is just a testament. It's basically Spielberg making Jaws at 25. So.
Kind of, yeah. Like we're like, if you're watching this and you in a day and you witness it, you might not know it, but like this is going to be one of the biggest directors of all time. I mean, Paul Thomas Anderson's name will be up there with all of the great directors, and I think this is the movie that like people first started to say, "Cool, he gets to do whatever he wants to do,"
And you ranked Magnolia number one last week, didn't you?
I love Magnolia. I think I did last time, but again, then I just watched Boogie Nights and it's so fucking good too.
Right. I mean, I totally understand it, but Boogie Nights
I think I told you because I'm a little bit more like in the the drama side of things.
Yeah,
and like I like when things deal with like serious life shit, And this movie, of course, is that, but I think the other one just was like a little bit more like darker, if that makes sense in a way. Because like you said, there's a little more comedy.
It's a comedy. Yeah. I view it as a comedy. I mean, it's him making his Goodfellas. I mean, we haven't even said it. Like that's what PTA was going for. It's like, I want to make kind of Goodfellas. More of an ensemble movie, Nashville Altman style, but like in terms of like kind of like just pure high level storytelling with as like a rise and fall of a character, like it's Goodfellas. And Goodfellas is absolutely a comedy as well. So it's like it's just by far the best way to watch it. So that's my last thought. It's a great comedy. And I'm very happy we've made it to 100 episodes, more than honored to 100 episodes with you. And I'm very happy we did Boogie Nights with it. So,
Yeah, me too. Interesting to see what the next 100 will be. We got a lot more movies to cover, you guys, and don't fear, we're not going anywhere.
let's wrap up Boogie Nights and maybe talk a little bit high level stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, as you mentioned, like we used to do a little bit more random stuff, books and music, and we've definitely gone back to our movie roots, and I think that's definitely the right path for us. But what are some glaring omissions that we haven't covered that you see us doing?
Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, my favorite movie of all time. We have not covered that. I mean, we've covered Hitch a little bit, but
great music box experience with us. So.
Oh, really? You said it's coming to the music box?
No. Or did we watch a different Hitchcock movie at the music box? What did we watch at the music box last time we were here?
We watched, I can't even recall right now, but it's again, like Hitchcock's one of my favorite directors, as you know, just from growing up and stuff. And I'm trying to look like here as I go down the list and like, I don't know. Psycho 2 we covered.
Well, so
not that it's Hitchcock, but
we're definitely covering Psycho 3 and 4, just FYI, coming up soon.
Good. But yeah, so like again, some of my I loved like covering some of the stuff that I love that are like film noirs. I don't think we covered Detour. I'd love to cover Detour, but like when we covered The Big Heat, I enjoyed stuff like.
See, this is great because we need more of your recommendations, because these are more movies that a lot of people, especially young people, have not seen.
I feel like for me, sometimes that gets lost because like I get like almost like in shock when you're like, okay, pick a movie. I'm like, because there's so many movies. It's like,
I'm in shock too. I'm like, I know this man has a 1,000 movies he would love to talk about right now.
Oh, dude.
The fact that he doesn't have one for this.
I mean, yeah, exactly. But like actually picking one is kind of like, oh my God, like, did I make the right decision? Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter, but
there's no wrong decision.
I feel like there's some anxiety behind it for me. I loved when we covered Mandy. I loved Mandy. I think you loved M when we covered that. That was one of my picks. Metropolis. I'm thinking about Metropolis actually a lot right now because I have an art piece that I do for the band Rise Against, and the song that I'm doing for them like deals a lot with the idea of like sort of being oppressed by being working class and the themes that are in Metropolis. So I love that. There's a lot, man, but what do you think? I mean, we've done a lot.
I mean, I would like us to go into a little bit more deeper cuts. Just for me, like I want to like explore. Like I said, like my favorite part of this podcast is like exposing people to like movies, recommending movies. Like that's just what I think we have the most fun, and it's kind of like the most satisfying. As I mentioned, like us working at the video store, it's like we talk movies all day, and one of the best parts is like being able to like turn people on to stuff they may or may not have seen or have dived deep into.
Well, I mean, I definitely think you are good at that. I mean, we did stuff that I've just not like very privy to that I think.
Yeah, we have. I just want to keep on going in that direction for sure.
Gotcha.
Because it's so satisfying. Like I'm just looking through our list of episodes. Like there are just so many like movies we kind of have talked about that like you don't really see covered like too much. And like I said, like going to the big movies like every once in a while you cover something. I mean, there are obviously like huge movies. Goodfellas.
Like Speed.
Goodfellas or Speed. It's like nobody needs us to recommend this movie, but it's fun as hell just to talk about it.
Yeah.
But then also at the same time, it's like we just talked about having our birthdays. We're old as fuck. It's like if you're like 20 years old, like there's a lot of movies that are fucking fantastic from like 30 years ago that we've been watching forever that younger people may not have seen. So
that's true.
That's like kind of the best part of it. Like, so, and so kind of like really keeping with that. I mean, but also blind spots. Like I'm looking here, us covering the Stone Age. It's like I certainly had never seen that and did not realize how fucking great of a comedy that was until you made us watch it. So
it's Joe versus the Volcano.
Joe versus the Volcano. I mean, come on. It's like where are these movies? But then also like heavy, like big blind spots. Like I had never seen Carlito's Way, and it's like legit like one of my favorite Brian De Palma movies. So it's like
Mad Max Fury Road, same way for me. Like, how could I have not seen that? But I didn't. It took me 10 years of it being out. Then I finally saw it on this podcast.
So it's like having fun with the education aspect of it, making it a filmography, like a hit list to keep on watching. So.
Yeah, and I also like the Halloween ranked version. Maybe we'll have to do that for like the Friday the 13th or so. You know what I mean? Like keep that going.
A little bit more ranking for sure. So, and then moving into obviously how well 80s horror is aging, as it's always been. I think going into that. So,
yeah, you're right. Like there's like we did Haxon. I think you like that a lot.
I mean, again, that's what I'm talking about in terms of like utilizing film for its ultimate medium. It's like that's like the best use of the medium of films, because that's not something you can visualize it in a novel in literature for sure, but like it captures the best aspect of like why film exists and those images, and they're in there. So.
Well, like when we covered Buzzard, that like was like awesome. Like we got the attention of the guy that was in the movie, Josh Birch, and then, like I keep in contact with him a little bit, like on social media, where just like talk every once in a while because he's in LA here and stuff. And like then they did like that sequel, the Vulcanizador, I forget how to say it. But I didn't know anything about Joe Petroikas. I don't know anything about Buzzard until you brought that to the table. Dude, even like bringing that up to some friends and stuff, and I'll be like, "Oh, Joe Petroikas or whatever," and like no one has any clue about his movies and stuff. Yeah, so that I think those were some good episodes where we like brought out some things that people needed to know about.
Again, I think that's like a good balance of like picking the obscure is not the right word, but the stuff that deserves more attention than alongside with the big budget movies that we love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, as we wrap that up, we always do our songs of the week, but we also talk a little bit about what we've been up to. And honestly, I just been doing some. I had a great time selling at the Los Feliz block art and music block party that happened. Shepard Fairey was over there doing a new mural, and it was kind of an unveiling for a bunch of murals, but then a bunch of artists and vendors were out there selling. So I was one of them. That was great. That's what I've been up to. This August is a lot of my getting stuff done medically, making sure everything's tip top shape. So I'm happy to report I'm doing pretty good there. And trying to keep myself together with some good. This is my busiest year I've had in a good way. So I'm very proud of the last 5 years, not just with the Remainders, but also the way I've grown the Darren Burrell business. And let's keep it going, man. Remainders is a big part of that.
I was gonna say, so this is like a good documentation of your path in your life now as an fully independent artist. And so you moved it. Remind me when you moved to LA exactly.
It was in May of 2021.
Yeah. So it's like essentially right when we started the podcast.
I have not had any other job than what I do for myself.
Yeah. So as in like, it's not just a document of movies like this, the podcast has been like a legit, like perfect timeline of documenting your current phase that you've been thriving in LA.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back and listen to all the episodes, I'm sure I'm bitching about a lot of stuff in there.
Well, that's the beautiful thing. Over 100 episodes, your bitching has just gone down a little bit.
Exactly. Every year.
A little bit over time. It's like, all right, finally he's getting his shit together.
Yeah, this guy's finally not fucking having to eat ramen all the time.
Seriously,
you're right. It's like a diary. It's like a diary.
As a good friend for many decades now, it's been fucking awesome watching that and you thriving in that. So it's like, that's been one of the most enjoyable parts for me.
Well, and something that we don't talk about a lot, but like one of my favorite parts about why I think we kind of got together on this podcast in the first place is Pat and I kind of reconnected after, as we always mentioned, working a ton in Suncoast Motion Picture Company, which is the best job either of us had. But after that, we didn't see each other that much. And there was
We'd show up at shows every once in a while.
But it wasn't like we hung out
Yeah.
like we did back in the day. And then I don't know, it was like 2019 or something. You and I just kind of we just like really reconnected in a good way. And I just like I loved seeing just kind of how like you had lived your life and like you just were presenting yourself. Maybe it was a lie, but it was you were presenting yourself as a very put together person. And I really liked that. I was like, man, I really want to be like that. And then when I don't know. I guess I had the idea. Did you have the idea? I don't know. To put the podcast together.
Fully your decision. You definitely were the.
And did I ask you to be on? Did we talk about it? I can't remember.
You brought it up. Yeah, it was definitely you bring it to me and me having. I mean, the second I read your text message, it was like a light bulb. Like that sounds like fucking exactly what I would do.
Because a lot of I think what we talked about it a little earlier. A lot of what I loved about like kind of reconnecting with you is that I did think you like life wise, I thought you had some things worked out. And I thought that was in a big part thanks to your reading experiences you've had and things like that, which I thought would bring a lot to our conversations in a podcast scenario like this, because otherwise you're just kind of like gushing about the movie. I knew you and I would never just do that, like just kind of be like, we liked the movie, I knew we would talk about it in depth, but I knew from 2019 on that you were like, you had some depth to you that maybe wasn't there in 2001 or something,
This comes with age as a man, as you get older, man. It's like you live through life and you learn how to live through life and the obstacles.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's great that on this episode, we can both kind of look at each other here and be like, we're doing pretty well, and I'm happy about that because, you and I love living and consuming great art, and I hope we get to do it for a lot longer. And speaking of that, do you want to talk a little bit about what you've been up to in your hot as fuck summer over there in Chicago?
Just living the best life on the lake. A little bit of lake time. Did a little Midwest traveling. Went up to Michigan. Fantastic with girlfriend.
Yeah,
had a good time. Nothing too crazy. Did want to talk about this passing of a person, film wise. Nobody I know. Screaming Mad George passed away this week. He's a practical effects artist throughout the 80s. This like very unsung person. He worked on.
Can you say his name one more time?
Screaming Mad George, Japanese artist and filmmaker. So he was a musician as well, but did most of his most famous work on practical effects in movies. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4, Society, Big Trouble in Little China. He definitely worked on like the eyeball creature that moved around. Worked on the original Predator, the Abyss, Freaked, the great movie Freaked, Tales from the Hood, and then he directed the
Tales from the Hood. Is that like that Tales from the Crypt kind of like?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Great movie. Body horror with David Allen Greer, and that scene is amazing. And then he directed this movie, which is a cult classic, but favorite of mine, The Guyver. Mark Hamill's actually in this. There's a scene when he turns into a bug monster, and it's fantastic. So Screaming Mad George has just been an unsung hero of like 80s body horror practical effects, and he just passed away recently, so has done
Thanks
a
for
lot
bringing that to highlight.
Does so much good work. I mean, it's like I said, 80s horror, and the practical effects that gone into it is just something that's going to continually age well, and Screaming Mad George was a huge part of that. So he just passed away, so kind of a big loss.
I mean, I wouldn't have known his name had you not said it, so I'm glad you did. I went and look up some of his films and stuff like that. That's the sad thing about a lot of people that work on films is, you kind of, I guess maybe artists in general, like unless you're like the big name, the Paul Thomas Anderson on the film, a lot of people don't dig deeper to see like who else works on it. And I think even just talking about like Joe versus Volcano, we talked a lot about, I already forget his name, but he was married to Catherine O'Hara. And I think he did most of the setup of the film, like what do you call that when they like stage the sets and stuff like that?
Cinematography?
No.
No.
Like set design.
Oh, stage. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but it's kind of like you can do, sometimes when you watch like the in memoriam section of the Oscars and there's a bunch of people and you're like, oh Jesus, like what a baddie, but then you're like, but I've never heard this person's name.
Right. Yes. I mean, practical effects, especially in 80s horror, does have the benefit of being a little bit more like
niche. Yeah.
Well, just as a tangible thing that is like art on screen. So it's like that one's like, and as I mentioned, I genuinely think 80s horror, because of the practical effects, is going to continue to be like seen as an absolutely like pivotal part of film, because it was the apex of like technology pre-computers. So it was just like the industry standard was just such an art form.
Well, if you think of like bat artists, like kind of the same deal, like I think people, from time to time still use those, but for the most part, that's a lost art as well.
But it's not going to be industry standard. Somebody could make a movie like that as a one-off, but like it's never going to be that. So rest in peace, Scream Man George. Body horror effects forever, fucking awesome. So,
yeah,
we'll be covering a lot more of those. So. And then I got a couple, just a quick physical media updates. The one you're most excited for, I got Avatar 3 Steelbook. So
yeah. I will tell you that my girlfriend has been saying like we need to watch the Avatar movies. So it's happening sometime, and I'm sure I'll do the Mad Max Fury. I mean, like I was fucking idiot. I love these movies.
No, don't compare it to Mad Max. Mad Max, I can guarantee you're gonna like mostly. I did a couple on sale ones. I finally picked up this great House of a Thousand Corpses 20th anniversary edition. So
great cover.
Yeah, I know. It's like such a great looking edition. So excited to watch that.
20th anniversary, huh?
It's fucking crazy. Talk about back in the Suncoast days, and here we are now. And then finally, Vinegar Syndrome. In their new packet, they sent the great Clint Howard Ice Cream Man from the 90s, which I actually have never seen this movie. So I'm very excited to watch it. And one of the special features is the original Joe Bob Briggs version that he had on TNT Monster Vision. So it's like got all the interviews that he had, and he had Clint Howard on. So it's going to be like watching the old school presentation with Joe Bob Briggs with that.
Fucking ass. That also is a great cover.
I know. And Clint Howard, the fucking legend, dude.
A legend. So good. Eagle Bauer from Rock and Roll High School. But also, there is a new Ice Cream Man coming out, Eli Roth,
I've heard nothing but horrendous things. So, which is actually kind of making me want to watch it more. But yeah, go ahead.
A lot of people are giving him shit for using AI in there somewhere. I think I've been seeing.
Oh no shit!
I don't know. I don't fucking care anymore. Use AI if you want to. Who fucking cares? But it's supposed to be at the Vista, I think. So we'll see.
Tarantino's boy. He's gonna stand by him. I re-listened a couple years ago. His and Tarantino doesn't do many commentaries, but he did a commentary for both Hostel and Hostel 2 with Eli Roth. So it's pretty fun to listen to both of them talk about the movie. I had a good time watching it. So
yeah, those
movies are pretty good. I mean, I've always liked Eli Roth enough. Like I like Hostel 1 and 2, Green Inferno. I enjoy. Yeah. So that's the other reason why I'd be down to still watch it.
It's funny. Like most of the Eli Roth stuff that I like are like when he's like playing characters in Tarantino movies and stuff. I know like Thanksgiving was fine.
I haven't seen that one. I've heard a lot of people say they like that one. So
it was good. It wasn't like, oh, I loved it or whatever. Maybe it'll age well or something, but it was, there was anticipation of that ever since like you had the trailer, the Grindhouse trailer.
Sure.
So, yeah. But it's cool.
Man, talking about an all-time great memory. I've seen Grindhouse when that first came out.
Mm-hmm.
So good. All right. What else we got? Oh, music. Got your song?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm going to pick God Only Knows because I got to. I've been listening to some new stuff, but I don't love it as much as like I want to pay tribute to that song in this movie. And because I love that song so much. Like the line, if you should ever leave me, the world could show nothing to me. What Good Would Living Do Me? It's some of the most beautiful lyrics I think ever written. So yeah,
it's funny. So that song, what I think about with that song is actually the show Big Love.
Was it like was it the intro
the
music?
Bill Paxton polygamy show, and that was the song that they use in the opening credits. And he's like skiing or something with all his wives, and that's the theme song for the opening of the show.
It's interesting. I never really watched that, but I probably overused it.
It was good. I mean, it was a little more tame than I would have expected, but like it's fucking Bill Paxton being he's not being over the top. He's being like a legit, like straightforward, like family man, but in this polygamous setting. So
can I give you one Bill Paxton thing that I didn't send to you? He was in I
like all things Bill Paxton.
He was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt that was exceptional.
Of course.
So just telling you, if you need to get onto your own, you need to get into your own Shudder and watch all of those Tales from the Crypt.
Can you give me my password to my own Shudder, please?
Yeah, right.
I've talked about the movie The Vagrant with Bill Paxton, which is essentially a movie version length Tales from the Crypt episode. It's directed by Chris Wallace. He did The Fly 2. Chris Wallace, he's directed more than a couple episodes of Tales from the Crypt, so you probably watched one that he did. But man, like just the vibe of that show, as we mentioned, like Obsession, the movie this year. It's like that's basically a Tales from the Crypt episode.
Oh no shit!
I mean,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, like
just
in terms of vibe, thing and whatever.
Just in terms of like the spiritual vibe of that show, it's which is a derivative of Twilight Zone, but it's just like it's so great when that's done effectively and not overdone.
Sorry to go off on one tangent before you do your song, but I just want to mention a couple movies that I did just see. The Paperboy I saw for the first time. Lee Daniels. It's on Criterion. It's a movie with Nicole Kidman, who's off her fucking ass in it, but it's also got Matthew McConaughey, and then it's got Zac Efron's in it. Very good.
Oh yeah.
And then
this is the one. Did she piss on him?
Yes.
Because he got stung by.
Yes.
Okay, so this was covered on a podcast I listened to when it came out. And I just always remember them describing that scene. So
yeah, it is.
I haven't seen it, but I remember that existing. So
I saw Wild at Heart, which I had.
Yeah,
I don't think I had ever seen Wild at Heart, so it was great watching that. Another film that I think is leaving that I wanted to mention, or maybe it already left, and I don't know if I could find it right now. It was a James Spader film with Rob Lowe, and it was fucking excellent. Not Dream Lover. I also just watched Carrie for like the first time the other day. Oh, Bad Influence. Curtis Hanson film.
Spader movie?
Yeah. It's called Bad Influence, and it was fucking excellent. Spader. It's like
Curtis Hanson?
Yeah.
Of
1990. Yes. No. Curtis Hanson from fucking LA Confidential fame, bro.
8 Mile fame.
Well, yeah, I know 8 Mile is great too, but anyway, this film is way worth the watch.
Okay, I know this cover.
Yeah.
I love Spader. Prime Spader was fucking so good, dude.
It's like Rob Lowe is just at his most diabolical, like basically, like just totally manipulating and going after Spader in this. It's great.
You know what I love about that? The way you just described him, because that's basically what he played in Wayne's World just a year later.
That's true. That's true. But trust me, not like as diabolical as this. So,
but that's what's beautiful. It's like if you can play diabolical straight, you can play diabolical in a comedy. So
true.
It's so good.
But yeah, I just needed to mention those because a couple that I watched I really actually enjoyed recently.
Okay. Love it.
All right. Well, go ahead and into your song of the week.
Sure. Okay, my song is just from a movie soundtrack. The movie The Hidden with Kyle MacLachlan. Have you ever seen The Hidden?
No.
The horror movie. So it was on Criterion back in the day. I know at some point. Amazing 80s horror movie. We're definitely going to cover it soon. But it's just got a great soundtrack. The movie is essentially Kyle MacLachlan is hunting down an alien that is obsessed with rock and roll and fast cars. So like it honestly is a masterpiece, and they actually showed it with the last David Lynch retrospective at the Music Box, just because it's like a fun little.
McLaughlin's in it.
You got McLaughlin kind of being kind of it's got a Lynchian vibe to it, but it's more of like a 80s rock horror movie. Great movie. We're going to cover it soon, but one of the songs from the soundtrack is from Concrete Blonde. They had the song Joey. That was kind of one of the more deep cut hits. It's hard to like. It's pretty deep cut, but it was a little bit of a hit. If you heard it, you would recognize it. That was kind of like one of their only big hits. But they're 80s LA post punk band, and the song "Still in Hollywood" from their debut album in 1986 is featured in The Hidden, and that's just what I'm going with this week because movies are always a great source for music, especially looking back. So
yeah. Okay, great. Well, I love that. I'm trying to think if there's because we do have our playlist on Spotify with a bunch of songs now on it that are grayed out because you can't listen to them anymore.
I did notice that. Yeah. I noticed the Lords of the New Church, the Stiv Bators band that I absolutely love. I noticed that some of their stuff was taken off. So that is the down part. But at the same time, us being, we're just recommending these songs. If you can't listen to it, check it out somewhere else. Get the CD. So I've been getting back into CDs. Yeah, building back up my collection because vinyl. Something about I love vinyl. I just didn't collect it as a kid because like when I started like buying music, like CDs were just there. It's just my age. That's where it's at. And so I personally have a nostalgia for CDs. It's also way more affordable. And I mean, depending on who you ask, and maybe hear your opinion. I mean, I've been told that CD quality is actually the apex for music as opposed to vinyl.
People say vinyl, so I don't know.
People say vinyl because of like the picks and the imperfections, but just in terms of like pure sound quality, especially over streaming, people say CDs are where it's at. So
yeah, all I know is that as soon as I go over to my brother's attic and pull out all the things that I used to own, I will never stream another thing again in my whole life.
I mean, maybe that should be like episode 150 or something. Is
actually going to
digging through your much talked about collection from
dude. We
ago,
would
so.
I hope to God he never like sold it out on under me or something.
It's
been 5 years since I've seen it, but anyway. I will tell you this much right now. The other thing we have to do on this podcast that my girlfriend is just like killing me for, she's like, Pat needs to come out here. She's like, even if we have to like pay for his like flight or something, and we need to do the TMZ fucking tour of Hollywood. You two on the TMZ tour and film it. And I'm so for that. That would be so much fun. A Hollywood tour with you. I just would love it.
I mean, at the very least, yes, we do need a live episode. If not talking about movies, then yes, exploring some sort of movie house. So.
Yeah, I've got the little like clip-on things now, so we're just like we'll go through and just talk about shit. It'll be great.
I'll be out there soon. So I'll just show up on random Tuesday. So that's what keeps me young.
I'm not doing it
to do whatever I want. So, so.
That's true. All right, well, episode 100. Thank you, God, for getting us to 100. We did it, and I'm very proud of this podcast. And thanks everybody for listening. This is I would venture to say this is also the longest episode of this podcast that's ever existed, over 2 hours now, and it's episode 100. So cheers to you, my friend, and looking forward to 101 in 2 weeks.
Thank you for the movie talks over the years. Been multiple decades we've been doing it, so let's keep it going. Not just 101. We'll recheck in at episode 200 with the status of the podcast. So.
Hell yeah! All right, that time, maybe we'll be doing it on the moon. Who knows?
If only. Love it.
All right, we'll see you back here in 2 weeks, you guys. Thanks a lot, Pat. Talk to you soon.
See you, brother.
Bye bye.